Okay, let's get right into it. There's a totally new kind of war being fought, right now, all around us. But it's invisible, it's completely silent, and its primary target isn't some city or a military base, nope, it's your mind.
You know, this quote from military strategists just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures this massive shift in how global conflict is playing out. The ultimate prize isn't about grabbing territory anymore, it's about influencing human perception, about shaping how we all make decisions. And this isn't some theoretical, far-off idea. The battlefield is literally the screen you are looking at right this second. The content you scroll through, the news you read, the videos you watch, every single bit of it is potential terrain in this massive contest for our attention and our cognition.
For centuries, we've thought about war in these very physical terms, right? Controlling land, dominating the seas, achieving air superiority. Then, of course, cyberspace came along. But now strategists are looking at the next, and maybe the final frontier, the human mind itself.
So what is cognitive warfare really? The most important thing to get is that it's a huge leap beyond old-school propaganda. The goal isn't just to change your mind on one topic, it's to actually reshape the mental tools you use to form opinions about anything.
This chart here breaks it down perfectly. You see, it starts with information warfare, which is all about targeting data and systems. Then, you level up to perception warfare, which tries to shape how you interpret a specific event. But cognitive warfare, man, that goes so much deeper. It targets your core beliefs, your sense of identity, all in an attempt to rewire the very way your brain processes the world.
In fact, if you look at how NATO studies talk about it, they use this really stark phrase, the weaponization of neurosciences. Think about that. It means using what we know about how our brains work against us, to degrade our judgment, to shatter our trust, and to just weaken our will. It's basically turning our own minds into a weapon against ourselves.
Okay, so this all sounds incredibly advanced. The big question is, how is it actually being done? What are the engines that are driving this whole new form of conflict? Well, the answer is something we all use every single day. The number one engine, the primary driver, is artificial intelligence. AI is what gives these operations the scale, the speed, and the pinpoint precision that were frankly impossible just a decade ago.
And here's the nuts and bolts of how it works. AI is behind the algorithms curating your social media feeds, literally shaping your reality. It's creating synthetic media, deepfakes, that blur the line between what's real and what's fake. It unleashes swarms of automated bots to create this illusion that everyone agrees on something, and it's building these incredibly detailed behavioral profiles to predict and nudge your next move.
So with these new AI tools in hand, a whole new playbook of tactics has emerged, and these are seriously sophisticated strategies, all designed to work quietly, subtly, in that cognitive battlespace we were talking about. One of the key concepts, especially in Russian doctrine, is something called reflexive control. And this is both fascinating and, honestly, a little terrifying. It's the art of feeding an opponent very specific information so that they willingly, and from their perspective, logically, make a choice that actually benefits you. They think they're in the driver's seat, but their choices have been completely engineered from the outside.
And get this, the weapons in this war aren't always what you'd think. In fact, one of the most powerful tools is something you probably scrolled past a dozen times today, the humble meme.
So, what makes a simple meme so powerful? Well, they're like perfect cognitive payloads. They have a huge psychological impact for almost zero cost. But the crucial thing is, they completely bypass our rational, analytical minds. They embed these really complex, often divisive narratives directly into our brains using simple, emotional, and easy-to-share formats.
Now, this isn't just some academic theory. Major world powers are actively developing doctrines and capabilities for this new domain. And as you'd expect, their approaches are a reflection of their own political systems.
So broadly speaking, you've got two different philosophies taking shape. On one hand, democracies tend to focus on defense. They're all about building resilience, promoting critical thinking, and protecting the integrity of their institutions. But on the other hand, authoritarian approaches are often much more offensive. They're aiming for what some Chinese strategists actually call mind dominance, using tactics like reflexive control and censorship to engineer social agreement.
All of this brings up a really critical question, and it's a question for every single one of us. In a world that is just saturated with these influence operations, how on earth do you even begin to defend your own mind?
Well, the defense isn't some new technology. It's psychological.
The answer is all about building what's called cognitive resilience. So what does that mean? It means we have to actively practice critical thinking. It means becoming really aware of our own built-in biases. We have to boost our media and digital literacy. It also means strengthening trust in reliable institutions and, honestly, just preparing ourselves psychologically for this new environment.
And that really leaves us with one final, kind of haunting question to think about. In this new battle space, where algorithms and adversaries are constantly trying to shape our perceptions, how can any of us ever be truly sure that our thoughts are completely our own?